She needed a place to stay, and I loaned her the money.
We made commitment to pay $300 a month in cannabis.
Yeah.
Kathy is a psycho, crazy lady. She was threatening me. She was telling me she knew where I lived.
I was starving,
she was
having
coming
a hard
to my
time.
house. Kathy, quit interrupting me, please.
Plaintiff Kathy Chris claims her former friend borrowed money for a motorhome, but never paid it back. She's suing for $3,800. Defendant Nicole Farnese claims the plaintiff wouldn't accept her loan payments of cash and weed. She says she owes nothing.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
Thank you. The Honorable Judge Jerry Springer now presiding. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Najee.
This is case number 050 on the docket, Chris versus Farnese.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge.
And welcome to both of you. We have the plaintiff, Kathy Chris,
Yes.
and you are suing your ex-friend, Nicole Farnese,
Yes.
for $3,800 for an unpaid loan for a mobile home.
Yes.
How long have you guys been friends?
I've known her for about 5 years. And
Yeah,
she
and
did
you-
my taxes for me. And I had her do
Oh.
my son's taxes and a few other people's.
Okay, so you are an accountant then, Nicole, is that right?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's start with you, Kathy. Tell us why you're bringing this suit.
Well, I would see her at least once a year, maybe run into her a couple times here and there. And more of an acquaintance, kind of a friend. She came by one day and with her husband, and they were talking about that she got a new job offer of $80 an hour. At the time, she was making $20, I guess. And she said that she had this opportunity that she couldn't miss out on, but she was having an issue with it. And I said, what's the problem? She said that she needed some place to stay because the place that she moved to was very expensive to stay in a hotel, and they wanted a mobile home so that they could stay there and save some money and get on her feet and everything. And so
And this is a job that paid $80 an hour?
yeah, working for
Are they still hiring? No, I'm just. So she had this new job and wanted to move to this location, obviously for the job. Pick up the story from there.
Okay, so I went out with them and looked at a mobile home, and we found one, and it was the first one we looked at, and I was negotiating the price with the owner. He was asking 10 grand, and I got it lowered to $4,000, asking him to lower the price.
You must be a good negotiator.
I am, yeah. I asked Nikki if she wanted to take over, and she said, no, you're doing a fine job.
Do we have a picture of that mobile home?
Yes, we
so
do.
we know what
Your
we're talking
Honor.
about here?
Yes,
I
we
didn't
do.
ask Kathy to do that. She did that on her own.
That's
yeah,
a lie.
Okay, but we got a picture of the
Motor
all right,
home.
There, I see it. Now what happened?
Then I loaned her the money. I went and got a check, and I wrote on the check the serial, the VIN number of the motorhome.
What item is that?
Item B.
I see it for
And-
$3,800.
I didn't have an official notary do it because I trusted her, but
Okay.
I should have.
So you loaned her $3,800.
Yes, and then she, along with that, wrote me a promissory note. It is Exhibit D.
And it says here, promissory note with the VIN number and the amount, here it says $4,000. We, William and Nicole Farnese, make commitment to pay Kathy Chris the sum of $200 cash or direct debit and $100 in cannabis
Yeah,
to equal payments of $300 a month for 14 months. And it is signed,
okay.
well, it is signed by William Farnese. I assume that's your husband?
Yes, sir.
So both parties signed it, 14 months of paying $200 in cash and $100. Now, I understand when people exchange cash, they say, give me some green, but I didn't know that the green refers to the weed.
It's a different type of green.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Seriously, why do you pay someone in marijuana?
This was the last thing that she whipped on me at the last minute. And the thing is, She has a son that got injured, and I have a son that's disabled, so I was feeling sorry for her, okay?
Oh, so
And
it's a business
It's kind of
thing.
a business
and it's
thing, and
legal,
I
yeah.
make perfume out of, with hemp, I make perfume. And I was told that the cannabis wasn't good enough to make perfume with, that it was a low-grade cannabis. So I wrote on the note that I didn't want her
Oh,
cannabis.
man, if you
Your
can't
Honor.
if you can't make perfume out of cannabis,
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
So that-
Yes, let's hear. Okay, what do you have to say about that, Nicole?
The marijuana that we use in I had an edibles company in 2008 through 2011, and we had over 19 shops in San Diego. The cannabis that we use is the highest THC content in San Diego. It's tested by Farm Labs, and it tests at 34%. So that is not true. It is not by any means low grade.
It was
My
it
edibles
was low
are
grade.
very strong. I was the only edibles company that was making edibles out of a certified kitchen.
I admit I'm not an expert on this.
Yeah.
Is the $100 in cannabis? That sounds pretty high, but well, actually, you do get high if you have cannabis. So why wouldn't it be high? Why did your 19 weed shops shut down?
Well, because they legalized marijuana. So when they legalized marijuana, they shut down all the medical shops.
Oh, I see. But before you were doing it medical marijuana.
Yes, sir. Prop
I see.
215
I
in
get it.
California.
But anyway, I'm not questioning the quality.
Should,
But here's the deal. It's whether or not in financial transactions, the cannabis is a currency. It's not a currency.
it's not legal.
But how much cannabis was given back? Let's get to these 14 months that you promised. You both, this is a signed promissory note. No matter whose idea it was in the beginning, it's the, I'll give you the loan or you asked for the loan. That doesn't matter. The fact is, an agreement was made here that the $3,800 to buy the mobile home would be paid back by the defendant in 14 months with $200 cash and $100 in cannabis each month, which would get to that sum. How much was paid back?
She only paid me one check in the mail, and right after.
And how much was the check for?
$300, and then she paid me $200 in cash and gave me $100 worth of cannabis, and that's all I got from her.
So you got back,
object.
let's add this up. What do you object to?
I set up in the account we went to the bank together, Kathy and I, to set up Zelle for it to be sent to her bank. And I set it up, and the Zelle sent that to her account
Only
every
once.
month.
No, it didn't.
It did,
No, it
Kathy.
didn't.
You set up the Zelle account.
We did at the bank. We went to the bank together, and she got her banker to come over and help her set it up on her phone so that the money could go into our account.
Here's what I have in what you submitted. There is no question that on these dates, which is the document you got from the Chase Bank, March 3rd of 2019, January, December, November, October, December, there were payments on 6 separate months.
I didn't get any of those.
It shows, okay, hold on.
Okay.
$200 was sent to Kathy. So there's a document that it was sent. So that is in favor of you, the defendant. However, I'm not sure it went through because here it always says that it expired.
When I was having trouble with the Zelle going through, she said she did not know how to set that, to put it on her phone, but the banker had already done that when we went to the bank. So I'm not sure if it was because she didn't know how to accept it.
I'm not questioning that you actually sent it. What I'm saying is it didn't go through. And so because it didn't go through, you weren't actually charged for it. So you haven't lost any money on that. Okay, continue with your suit.
Okay, so when I would confront her about the mobile home, I said, listen, it's not working out with the Zelle thing. Can you just send me a check? Well, she couldn't do that. And she comes to San Diego a lot to see her kids. And it's like, well, then pay me cash when you come here. She wouldn't do that either. So She left me for dead, pretty much. It was a cold winter. I had no rent money and no food. And I also had to put my 20-year-old dog down, which made it even harder.
And Nicole,
Can't trust her.
why wouldn't you pay her?
I was trying to pay her. I did try to set up several ways to pay her. She is incorrect in saying that I was going to San Diego all the time. I was not. We are
But
3
couldn't you have mailed
hours.
her?
All the
couldn't you
hard
have
times I
mailed her
went
a
through.
check?
I did mail her
Could you have
checks.
mailed her a
One
check?
check she mailed me.
No, I mailed
Yeah.
her checks, and
One check.
I did the bill pay from my account, and after a certain amount of time, when the check is not accepted, then or it's not cashed.
I cashed it.
And she did tell me, you know, when I talked to her on the phone, she said, I told her, Kathy, I sent you money, and she said she went and checked her mailbox, and she was really sorry, and that she received the check, and
That was one check.
she didn't know, and
That was one
you know,
check.
she
If
called
any
me.
check-
Kathy, quit
if any-
interrupting me, please. I let you talk. I did not interrupt you. You're being very rude. So I did. I made every attempt. I did ask her for her bank account number so that I could just transfer the money to her account. She was not willing to do that. She was calling my phone and threatening me. She was screaming at the top of her lungs. She was sending me bad text messages. She was telling me she knew where I lived.
starving,
She was
having a
coming
hard
to my
time.
house. She called and she said that she went to the casino and that she spent all of her money and she could not pay her rent, and that I was to sell the motorhome and give her all the money right now, that we were not going to follow the contract or the agreement because she had to pay her rent because she was going to be evicted. I told her that we had an agreement, we were going to stick with the agreement, and she was not okay with that. She then had other people calling me. This lady that's sitting next to her called me and said that she wanted me to do her taxes.
So we could
She
serve
set
you.
up an appointment for me to do her taxes, and she was going to come 3 hours to my house for me to do them. I told her that we would meet at Starbucks, and she had never
You were
showed up.
paranoid. You were paranoid because you found out. You asked her if I was coming. Your Honor,
What do you have to add to this?
Oh, my witness?
The witness can come forward, yeah.
What I witnessed was, first of all, me and Kathy are friends for almost 2 years. I go to her house for coffee. And I was there when she made the phone call to Nicole asking for her to, repay the debt. And she told her that, she's having trouble paying her rent. And she said, well, I don't have it. And she goes, well, why don't you pay sell the motorhome and repay me? And she says, I can't do that. That's my vacation home, her summer home, whatever.
Vacation for
I was
her.
there for that conversation.
Yeah.
And so I said I'd serve the papers.
Nicole, did you say that you couldn't sell the mobile home because it's your vacation home?
Yes, it's my. We bought the motorhome so that we could use it to go to the desert.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I bought
And,
the motorhome.
So, yeah, we had a contract, and I just wanted to follow the contract and continue to pay her that way. She told me she didn't want cannabis anymore, so she went back on that portion of the contract. That's what the contract said, and that's what we agreed upon, and she didn't want to do
It
that.
was garbage.
And then in December, she said that she spent all of her money and gambling, and that she
I did
did her
not
rent.
say that. You're lying.
$3,800 was loaned so that you could buy the motorhome.
Yes, sir.
That is not in dispute. And therefore, that $3,800 needs to be paid back. The only thing in question is how much has so far been paid back, that we can prove it's been paid back, and the method of payment. In other words, the bit about $100 a month in cannabis. Putting that aside for a moment, the only evidence I have of what has been paid back so far is $500, the cash and the initial payment of the cannabis, which the plaintiff has accepted. So $500 has been repaid. The amount of money that you fairly sent on Zelle, it didn't go through. So no matter how good the intentions were, and no matter whose fault it was that it didn't go through, the fact is you didn't lose that money yet. And in terms of any checks that you wrote, the check that she did accept is endorsed by her, so you know she got it. any other checks you may have sent. Because you don't have the endorsement of those checks, she obviously didn't cash them. Otherwise, when you get your bank statement, it would show that she accepted the checks. So there's no fraud going on there. In other words, if you don't have any receipts for any of this, either canceled checks or the Zelle we know didn't go through, no matter how good your intentions were, the fact of the matter is she has only been paid back $500 of the initial $3,800 she loaned.
Plus 200
That
in
is
cannabis.
what-
200 in cannabis. On July 21st, I gave her
Yes.
a half ounce of cannabis, and then we gave her
Yeah, I
cannabis.
understand. Cannabis is not a currency.
I gave her 300 on a check. I gave her 200
Yes.
in cash that I
That-
had her sign for, and then I gave her.
Wait,
a
well,
hun-
hold on. Let me see that. On August 5th, 2018, paid $200 cash towards loan for a Pace Arrow motorhome, and both of you signed it. That is
Yes,
true.
And I also gave
Okay.
her cannabis on that date, and I gave her cannabis
me-
on July 21st.
Okay,
No,
but with the cannabis, you show here that you paid back $500.
No, sir. 200.
You said $200 cash in August, which was signed for, and then a money order of $200. Where's the money order?
I don't have the money order receipts. I can't find them.
All right. So what I have proof for is on the $3,800 loan, the only money that the defendant has is $300. The 200 in cash she signed for, and the cannabis.
Okay, and then the check.
And then the 200 initially, which she accepted at the time before she said, I don't want cannabis anymore.
Yes,
So
sir.
I'm coming up with $500 has been paid back of the $3,800. That leaves you with $3,300 you still owe. And based on that, I find for the plaintiff $3,300.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. I'm really happy with the results, and I'm glad that Nikki got her day in court. I was going through a lot of hard times. My dog passed away, Christmas was going on, and I didn't have any money for Christmas gifts.
Kathy is a psycho crazy lady.
We will never repair our friendship with Nikki after what she did, and it makes me, I'm gonna have my taxes rechecked.
She threatened me. She called many times. She threatened my house. She was going to come to my house. She wanted me to sell the motorhome. She wouldn't follow the contract, and I was not in agreement. She should have stuck with what we planned in the promissory note, and everything would have been cool.
I appreciate Judge Jerry for all that he's done and seeing that justice prevailed.
Hey YouTube, thanks for watching. For more Judge Jerry, click here. For more Jerry Springer, click here.